Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. All your pixels are here with guest Ryan, and we are continuing the first case of Danganronpa 2. And just a little quick thing, I'm just going to read out a bunch of shit I just threw at our little group chat. A little disorganized, but I'll just read it as goes. Right now, Terra is definitely at the top of my suspect list, but I'm still not entirely sure. Miken was on the left with Byakuya and then ended up on the right when she tripped over the lamp cord. He died at 11:30 p.m., repeatedly stabbed between the throat and abdomen. He was face down. Knife was taped under table with glow tape, put there to draw him under table where he would be stabbed. He had night vision goggles that helped him with that, but that seems awfully coincidental that he prepared for the possibility of a blackout seems. The killer also seems well prepared. With the glow, anyone could have noticed it even without the night vision goggles, so was it even the case that Byakuya was the intended victim? I still think it is, because the thing that was used to draw him was a knife, a weapon, which was something that he was specifically looking for. But even that seems odd. If I recall correctly, no one knew that Byakuya was doing the weapon keeping until they arrived, so how could they have planned this all out ahead of time? A lot of electronics, including both AC, some irons, the stove, and the lamp were plugged in to set off to go at 11:30. The irons were not there before the celebration, so it must have been someone who could go to the storage room and return without notice. Terotero, who also has access to the skewer, he's also small enough to fit under the floorboards. Very unsure where the bloodstaining tablecloth comes into play. That was a lot of blood, so indicative of someone being murdered or hurt, and it wasn't in the dining room, so something must have happened beforehand. Wait, maybe if the killer was beneath the floorboards, they used this to keep blood from falling on them. Peko got sick from eating, maybe because Teotero put something in the food. No one except her and Akane ate. I can see Akane having an incredibly strong stomach. And just... I'm a little worried that maybe I'm getting too hung up on the skewer, especially since I can't really remember anything about that being among the truth bullets. But that is that. Let's us... Oh, come on, are you serious?
Hello,
Oh
this
my
is
god.
Ulrich.
Hello?
Danganronpa.
Maybe they wanna join.
Oh my god, that was so perfect.
That's amazing. They brought the food for the trial
Oh,
just
nice.
in time.
That was ridiculous timing.
It was food for the trial.
From this party. It got all wasted.
Alright.
Then, instead of knowing about it beforehand, maybe he saw it right at that moment?
Wait, what are we talking about? I don't even remember.
The knife?
It.
Transcript. If he knew beforehand, he probably couldn't have done something about it. Alright, how did he notice there was a knife under the table? Okay.
例えば誰かがテーブルの下に隠したナイフを取り出そうとしているのを見かけて
Like, for example, he might have seen someone trying to take the knife out from under the table.
いやそれはありえないぞ
No, that's not possible.
なんだ随分と言い切るではないか
What? You seem rather confident about that.
当然だそれだけの根拠があるのだからな
Of course, I have proof to back me up.
This is almost like a real trial.
Phoenix Wright will be jealous.
Alright, during the previous statement, there was only one weak spot. But from this point on, there will be various weak spots standing in your way. No matter how many weak spots there will only be one lie or contradiction in the debate at a time. This means there will be a false weak spots. If you shoot a false weak spot with a truth bullet, not only will you fail to refute what was said, but you also lower your trust with everyone and your influence gauge will take damage. If your influence gauge reaches 0, you will fail, so please be extra careful. You have to rely on your own logic to determine which weak spots are actually lies or mistakes. Also, if you concentrate by holding down the space key, you can progress the argument slowly. Please use it whenever you feel like the statements are moving too fast for you to aim. However, this does consume the focus gauge, so please be careful. If you press the escape key during these arguments, you can review the controls. Well, then good luck and have fun.
Have fun, Gogo.
Okay.
Enjoy yourself.
Alright, knife, bloodstain under the table. Holy shit! Gaps in the floorboard. Okay, AC timer, night vision goggles, a lot of stuff. I'm sure Byakuya ducked under the table during the blackout. That sounds correct. Okay, that's probably not the... If that's the case. During the blackout, Mr. Hamhands must have seen the killer take the knife. But it was super pitch black. It was so dark I couldn't see from my food. Oh! Oh, fuck. Alright. I doubt he could have seen the killer.
Should I read that?
Yeah.
It's true. Getting under the table during the blackout would have been nearly impossible, but...
But we have night vision goggles. How do we speed up? Fast forward control key.
The voices. No, Byakuya was probably the only one who was able to see in the dark. Why do you say that? If he was using those night vision goggles we found under the table, he could have seen what was happening.
These are so weird to me because they look like so realistic compared to everything else.
I
They
think
probably are.
Yeah, I think they're a picture.
Okay, that's
It
that's
probably
really
just has some filters over it to make it look like art, but it's probably a fake.
yeah, that's very jarring.
So, are you saying Byakuya was the one who used those night vision goggles? Yeah, that seems to be the case. Why am I talking to myself?
What is going on?
Yeah!
Woohoo!
The best part of the trials. No, that's obviously wrong. It should be the other way around.
Huh? Well, something new.
All the way around?
Seriously, the killer used those night vision goggles, not Byakuya.
Were you surprised by Mahiro's sudden argument? Yes, indeed I was.
The music during that is the best thing.
Yes.
Just between you and me, I was also surprised. Who the fuck are you? Just kidding, I'm sorry.
Kodaka, clearly.
Yeah.
The narrator is the best Danganronpa character, let's just be honest.
Yeah. Now then, when this kind of argument surfaces, you will go into a one-on-one debate called Rebuttal Showdown. In this mode, you have to counter the other person's claim, draw out their weak spots, and argue with them. Please counter the other person's remarks with the WASD keys.
Was
Based on the shape of their remarks, it's important to know whether to cut vertically, sideways, or diagonally.
That's the worst part about that.
this was
Really?
wasn't as hard to do in the touchscreen. I'm not sure
I never used the touchscreen.
because you suck at games.
Wow!
Wow! I always use like the touchscreen and the screen You know how you could press the back screen to get rid of like extra things later on?
Yeah.
I always did that, didn't you?
No.
How did you even finish Danganronpa?
I don't know.
Now, before Kime drags Kanetsu any further and there's another murder. And based on that, you can skew the debate's mood to your advantage. I'm having a little trouble visualizing this, but like almost everything else, I guess you'll just have to be thrown in. On the other hand, if you ignore the other person's remarks, it can skew towards their advantage. In the bottom right corner of your screen, a number that shows the sharpness of your counter is displayed.
You know, that's why I say like I don't really get how it work on a keyboard, because like on the PS Vita you used to like you had to like pinch the screen in the right direction. So I'm like, this seems hard.
Maybe you have to press 2 buttons at once.
I guess.
This is the number of times you can cut remarks during one round of the debate. You will lose count of sharpness even if you miss, so please be careful. When the mood skews to your advantage for a certain length of time, the other party's argument changes. This means the conversation will develop. If that happens, they will end up divulging some weak spots. However, you cannot normally cut remarks that contain weak spots. Instead, it will skew the mood towards the other party's advantage. Plus, it's going to be very big. Alright, so essentially we're just not cutting the weak spots. Just like a regular debate, please refute any weak spots with the left mouse button.
Oh, that's easy.
Of course, if you don't have the correct truth blade, you will not be able to cut an opponent's remark. With the truth blade, I'm terribly sorry. It appears there has been a delay in contacting you. I will make sure the person in charge of contacting you takes a very long vacation.
Oof.
Kodaka.
In this mode, truth bullets will be called truth blades. That's about it. There won't be any other changes to your handbook menu. Only the name was changed, but don't you think a change in feeling is important? If you press the escape... Alright, yeah. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Have fun, Coco. These
Let's
are
see
actually
how-
pretty fun.
Rebuttal showdown. Let's see. Knife, door element case, irons in storage room. Well, the only one related to the goggles is this one, so.
常識で考えればさ、暗視スコープを使ったのは犯人の方絶対そうに決まってるって
But they prove that the killer used them. Because if they used the night vision goggles, then they couldn't have killed Byakuya even. Fuck. I don't.
You want to line them up.
I don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
weird.
and in this one you don't really get too much time to read.
yeah, you kind of just want to cut through their argument regardless of what they're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
So as soon as it comes up, just cut it. And sometimes I think you get a better score if you cut like 3 in a row, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so you pretty much you just want to cut them until you see like the one that's light up.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll have a general idea of which truth blade you'll have to use from the start, so that kind of helps. No, Byakuya was definitely the one who brought those night vision goggles.
間違いないってどうして
Definitely. But why?
戸上がパーティー中ずっと持ってたチュラルミンケースの中に
Inside the duralumin case Byakuya had with him during the party,
暗視スコープを収納するためのケースが入ってたんだ
we found a smaller case for storing the night vision goggles.
You know, you don't really get that many instances of seeing Hinata, so now looking at him and his weird ass ahogi.
つまり暗視スコープはデュラルミンケースに入れて持ち運ばれたものと推測できる
Which means we can assume that the night vision goggles were kept inside that duralumin case as well.
推測だって伊吹らしからぬ賢いフレーズが出たっすね
said assume! Ibuki never uses such clever language!
しかも
You're doing
停
amazing,
電
sweetie.
中にそのジュラルミンケースの中から暗視スコープを取り出すなんて
Plus, Byakuya was the only one who could have taken the night vision goggles out of the case.
そんなことができるのはケースを持ってた戸上以外に考えられないだろ
Since he was carrying it around before the blackout in the first place.
そっか言われてみればそうかも
I see. When you put it like that, it makes sense.
だったらあのナイフもジュラルミンケースに入れて持ち込まれたものなのかもしれないね
Then, was that knife inside the case too?
暗視スコープがあったならナイフくらい入っててもおかしくないもんね
If there were night vision goggles inside, it wouldn't be weird for a knife to be in there too!
おかしいよ
It would be weird.
やっぱ僕っておかしいよねこんな時なのに今晩のおかずのことが頭をよぎるし
I am weird, aren't I? At times like this, I'd rather be fantasizing about tonight's main dish.
キモいよ絶対にいやらしい意味で言ってるもん
Ew, you totally mean that in a perverted way.
The knife was brought in the duralumin case along with the night vision goggles too? No, that's not possible. The knife was hidden in the dining hall before the party even started. I should be able to prove it.
そうか
Soka.
死体が見
And
つ
his
かった
little
テーブル
he
の
like
裏に
dances.
ガムテープが入ってたんだ
There was duct tape left under the table where the body was found.
ガムテープ
Duct tape?
きっとあれでテーブルの裏にナイフを貼り付けてそうやってナイフを隠しておいたんだろうな
They probably hid the knife by duct taping it to the underside of the table.
それであんなところにガムテープが残ってたんですね
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh, so that's why we found duct tape there.
あれだけ念入りに警戒していた戸上でもさすがにテーブルの裏までは気づけんかったか
Though Byakuya was thorough, even he couldn't have noticed a weapon taped to the underside of the table.
少し話がそれるのだがなぜ戸上はあそこまで念入りに警戒していたのだ
This may be off topic, but why was Byakuya acting so paranoid?
ジュラルミンケースに防犯グッズや警備用品を入れさらに暗視スコープまで持ち込んでいたとは
Not only did he bring a self-defense kit, but he had night vision goggles inside the case too.
確かに念のためにしてはやりすぎだの
That's true. He went above and beyond being a little cautious.
それを
These items he confiscated as well.
わざわざボディチェックまでするなんて念のためってレベル
Kyoko's going back.
No. It's one thing to be a little cautious, but performing a body check is a bit much.
そう彼には分かってたんだよ誰かが殺人を起こそうとしてるってことがね
He probably knew someone was planning to commit a murder.
殺人を予知していたというのかまさかあいつにも邪眼の
Are you saying he predicted the murder? Could it be? Was he also in possession of the all-seeing eye?
日向君もそう思うよね
You think so too, right, Hajime?
That's right. Byakuya probably knew something.
That went ahead. That was not me.
Possibly, there was a
there was-
possibility that the murder would occur.
Thank you, Gunnet.
You're welcome.
Everyone, can you please take a look at this? Be careful, the first kill will happen tonight. Someone will definitely kill someone.
おいこい つはなんだ
Hey, the hell is this?
戸上くんのコテージにあったのは僕と日向くんで見つけたんだよ
Hajime and I found this in Byakuya's cottage.
おそらく誰かが戸上に当てた脅迫文だ
It looks like a threatening letter someone sent to him.
誰かって誰だ
So who's the someone?
こんな頭悪そうな脅迫文なんてモノクマ以外誰も書かないよ
Nobody besides Monokuma would write such a dumb, threatening letter like that.
僕じゃありませんよ
Wasn't me!
本当ですか
Are you sure?
僕がつくのは優しい嘘だけだもん
The only lies I tell are friendly lies.
それがすでに嘘じゃないですか
Those are still lies!
誰が書いたかはともかく戸上はこの脅迫文のせいで警戒を強めていたのだな
It doesn't matter who wrote it yet. So, Byakuya became paranoid because of this threatening letter?
きっと彼がパーティーを開くと言い出したのもこの手紙のせいだろうね
He probably decided to throw a party because of the letter.
と言いますと
What do you mean?
彼はみんなを一箇所に集めることで互いに監視し合う状況を作ろうとしたんだよ
By gathering everyone in one place, he tried to create a situation where everyone could keep tabs on each other.
そうすることで殺人予告した人物を身動き取れない状況に追い込もうとしたんだ
In doing so, he tried to put the writer of the letter in a situation where they
だけどこんな手紙なんてただのいたずらかもしれないのに
But the letter might have been just a little prank.
それでも一人の犠牲者も出さないと宣言した以上は放っておけない
As long as he was determined not to let any of us die, he couldn't take that risk.
そんな強い責任感が彼にこの脅迫を信じ込ませちゃったんだよ
His strong sense of responsibility made him believe the letter was legitimate.
こんな脅迫文を受け取っていたならわしらに相談すればよかったものを
He should have told us he received a threatening letter.
そんなことしたら僕らは混乱状態になるよきっと戸上君にもそれが分かってたんだ
If he had, we would have panicked. Byakuya probably knew that too.
それで誰にも言えずに一人で何とかしよう
So, he tried to do something about it without telling anyone?
あいつのリーダーとしての責任感の強さがあだとなってしまったのだ
I see. His strong sense of responsibility as a leader was his undoing.
I'm looking at.
ふざけた真似しやがってその手紙を書いたやつは誰なんだよ
Screw that noise. Who the hell wrote that letter?
そりゃもちろん犯人だろうけど
Well, obviously, the killer.
The killer. Is it really one of us?
Okay, everyone, write your name.
Who is it? Among us, who's the one who killed Byakuya?
いい加減名乗り出たらどうだ臆病者めが
Enough already. Show yourself, you coward.
ここで名乗り出るくらいなら最初から人なんて殺してないって
If they were willing to come forward, they never would have committed a murder in the first place.
But I still can't believe it. Someone in this room killed Byakuya. There's no way I can believe that yet.
I mean, I also forgot to mention this. There's also the whole mystery of who he really is that we need to solve. So, there's definitely something else going on here. But I have no idea what.
Who is?
Who Byakuya is. Because as I said, I don't believe that's actual Byakuya.
ません。私からも少々よろしいでしょうか。
Pardon me. Can I say something, please?
どうしたんですか、ソニアさん。
What is it, Miss Sonia?
I think I mentioned before also back when they were discussing the blackout stuff that Kazuichi was also kind of suspicious but I'd say like him and Teru. The people that I feel I can rule out are obviously Hinata, Komeda. I think we can rule out Ibuki and Mikan. And Fujihiko seems like too obvious. You know, everyone's suspecting him. He's the Yakuza, so I don't think, at least at this juncture, it's not him.
Yeah, he's like Danganronpa 1 Byakuya in this, where he's too obvious of a choice, so it's like, it's not him.
話題が戻って恐縮なのですが、先ほどの暗視スコープの件で気になることがあるのです。
I regret that I must return to this topic, but I just realized something concerning the night vision goggles.
暗視スコープを使ってたのが戸上さんなら、犯人はあの暗闇をどのように攻略したのですか？
If Byakuya was indeed wearing those goggles, how did the killer manage to navigate in the dark?
そっか。暗視スコープなしじゃ何も見えないよね。
You're right. They wouldn't have been able to see anything without the night vision goggles.
でも、それだとテーブルの裏のナイフは取れないし、戸上くんがそれを目撃することもできないよ。
But if the murderer had the goggles when they took the knife, then how did Byakuya see them?
目印を使うにしたって、あの暗闇ではその目印すら見えんからの。
Even if the knife bore some sort of mark, it would have been difficult to see it in the darkness.
No, the killer definitely used a mark. And because of this mark, the killer was able to get the knife from under the table into his hands.
そうか。夜光塗料を目印にしたらどうだ？それなら暗闇の中でもナイフを取ることができるぞ。
What if the glowing paint was the mark? With that, you'd be able to get the knife even in the dark.
実際、テーブルの下に落ちてたナイフにも。
In actuality, the knife we found under the table.
テーブルの裏に貼ってあったガムテープにも夜光塗料が塗られてたよな。
And the duct tape stuck to the underside of the table were both marked with glowing paint, right?
それって犯人があらかじめ塗ってたんですか？
Does that mean the killer painted them in advance?
でも夜光塗料を塗っておくなんて停電になるのが分かってたみたいじゃない？
But painting them with glowing paint? It's as if they knew the blackout was going to happen.
実際分かってたんだよ。だからこそ夜光塗料を目印に使ったんだろうね。
They had to have already known. That's why they used the glowing paint as a mark.
ことは停電を仕掛けたやつが犯人だね。
Which means whoever set up the blackout is the killer.
だったら決まりだな。犯人はブレーカーのあった事務室にいたやつ。
That seals it. The killer is whoever was in the office with the circuit breaker.
Best music.
Which means it was you, Peko Pekoyama.
Peko killed poor Pyakuya? Was this island not big enough for 2 glasses wearers?
No. I am not the killer.
Oh, I guess she's not.
How can you believe her so easily?
でも事務室のブレーカーには横山さんでは背が届かないと思うんですけど。
But with Peko's height, I don't think she'd be able to reach the circuit breaker in the office.
そんな小さな問題はどうでもいいんだよ。ペコ山がブレーカーを落として停電にしたんだって。
I don't care about a technicality like that. Baker's the one who tripped the breaker and caused the blackout.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thanks you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.
A game of skill and more, one in which you're just following a bunch of directions. This game just sort of tosses you in it, and you're supposed to learn everything on your own. And I like that sort of challenge. You don't really see those in games anymore. When I went to Anime Weekend Atlanta, there was a panel on Cave Story, since it's been about 10 years since this was made. And I kind of wish that I could have uploaded this video closer to that time, since the panelist, he talked about a bunch of these things, and it was through listening to him that I really realized this. His name, he had a Twitter, but I think it was Reverend Thomas. It was a surprising name, since I wouldn't have guessed that, that would have been the Twitter of someone who talks about video games a lot. If I'm able to find it, I will link it. But it was a really interesting panel. He went into all the different versions of... Oh, I should pay attention so I don't accidentally go and get a bad ending. If you say yes to him, you actually do just up and leave the island, but for now, we will not do that.